You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on NGSCSports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You gonna hang around? Okay.
No,
Okay. Ed,
Welcome. Yeah,
whenever you're ready, friend.
I'm warmed up from talking about BNA, so this is going to be great. Welcome everyone to the Foreign Affair Podcast, episode 324. My name is Edward Green, joined as always by my call in crime, Wes Bradshaw. We have a humdinger of a week to talk to you about this week. Some big stuff going down in this latest week of Premier League action, which has set us up for what could be, maybe in the last 7 or 8 years, the most exciting championship Sunday we've had. And the irony is it doesn't even involve who the actual champion is. We know who that is. So we'll see. But there's a lot of craziness going on in the world of Champions League spots as well as relegation. So big stuff there. We'll also talk a tiny bit about the FA Cup. We got some news and notes to get through as well. And then we'll hit the watch for at the end. As always, podcast presented by NGSC Sports, NGSCSports.com. We never stop. Never, ever. So real quick, some of the highlights from this past week in soccer action. Aston Villa almost picked up a win against Everton, but Theo Walcott spoiled it in the 87th minute for a 1-1 draw. That was a big one. Leicester City got a big 2-0 win to kind of right the ship temporarily against Sheffield United. That was on Thursday. On Friday, West Ham with the decisive 3-1 win over Watford. Michail Antonio with the one of 2 goals in the first 10 minutes of that one. And that'll lead to some of the news and notes we'll be getting to later. Let's see what else. On Sunday, Leicester needed that other win because Tottenham put them to the sword on Sunday. 3-0. Harry Kane, the 1-year wonder, 6 years running, back on his bullshit with 2 goals near the end of the first half to seal that one away. Tottenham starting to look like a Jose Mourinho team, and that could be scary if they feel like spending any money at all this summer. Early fall.
Good one.
Yeah. Thank you. What else we got here? Some other big results. City pounded Watford 4-0. Shocking, I know. Aston Villa saving their season potentially with a 1-0 victory over Arsenal. It was off a corner kick, Mohamed Trezeguet. Excuse me. It's been a while since I've had to be corrected. Thank you.
Just because we haven't had matches, but okay.
It was a very important goal there. Just big goal in Aston Villa's season that may end up keeping them out of relegation. And then today, another big match. United draws West Ham 1-1, and Liverpool and Chelsea play maybe the most exciting match this season. It's been so long. There was such a long break that I don't know if that's even true anymore. But it feels like it could be true.
How cool would it have been with fans?
Yeah, exactly. One day, hey, October. They'll come back in October. Don't you worry. So that was a big one, and I'm sure Wes will have some thoughts on that one. But this all sets us, and I'm just going to go ahead and go quickly to the table here. I know we usually do that at the end. But quickly to the table for the relevant parts. Liverpool locked in 1, City locked in at 2. Manchester United, Chelsea are at 63 points. Leicester is at 62. These 3 teams are fighting for 2 Champions League spots. And because of goal differential, you'd think United, Leicester, they're in the driver's seat. But they're playing each other on Sunday.
Boom!
So here's how it works. Chelsea, you win against Wolves on Sunday, you're going to the Champions League. If you don't, then it all comes down to that Manchester versus Leicester City game. That is going to be absolutely ginormous. If someone wins that match, they will go to the Champions League. If there is a draw, again, then it goes back to the Chelsea-Wolves game. Elsewhere on the table, Wolves, again, is playing Chelsea. Tottenham is playing Crystal Palace. They are separated by 1 point. And the reason that stuff is important, Wolves are 6th, Tottenham is 7th. Whoever finishes 6th is guaranteed a spot in the Europa League. 7th place is not currently guaranteed because Arsenal, which, spoiler alert for the FA Cup, if Arsenal wins the FA Cup, they will take that 7th place seed into Europa. So that is big. If you want to get into Europa, 6th guarantees you, 7th, not quite yet. And then finally, at the bottom of your heart, the relegation zone, Aston Villa, again, with that giant win over Arsenal, 34 points. Watford, 34 points. Bournemouth, 31. 2 of those 3 teams will be relegated. And because of goal differential, Bournemouth can still get out if Villa and Watford lose. No matter what, the way the goal differentials are, if Villa and Watford lose and Bournemouth wins, Bournemouth stays up. After that, it comes down to Villa and Watford. Villa is 1 goal differential up on Watford. So if they both win, Watford needs to win by more than Villa does in their match to stay up. If they both draw, Villa stays up. So this is an insane insanidade final Sunday here in the Premier League. And again, real quick, Arsenal plays Watford. So there's the big one. And all these matches take place 11 a.m. Sunday. Arsenal plays Watford. Chelsea plays Wolves. Everton plays Bournemouth. Leicester plays United. City plays Norwich. That match doesn't matter at all. Don't watch that one. Newcastle plays Liverpool. That match doesn't matter, but Liverpool
doesn't really matter at all. As a Liverpool fan, not the match I'm watching. Sorry.
There you go. Southampton versus Sheffield doesn't matter. West Ham versus Villa, that matters. But West Ham is safe. So, and then Palace plays Tottenham. On the beach
because we know about Wes's mini crush on Villa.
Yes. Palace plays Spurs, and then Burnley plays Brighton Hove. That match doesn't matter either. So the interesting thing is, Wes, looking at this schedule of Watford, Villa, and Bournemouth, all 3 of them are playing teams that have actually nothing to play for. Even Arsenal, and hell, Arsenal might rest people to be ready for the FA Cup final later next week. So 3 teams, 1's coming out. I want to get your thoughts on who's coming out of that, and then also who you think is getting those 2 spots in the Champions League and who's getting hung out to dry.
Oh, Ed, first the relegation zone. You know where my crush is. You know who's coming out. It's going to be the villains, Aston Villa. Oh. They're going to get past West Ham, and then the other ones don't matter because it's a game that doesn't matter, so Arsenal will be fine.
Yeah,
doesn't mean shit. Arsenal's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. And yeah, I don't trust Bournemouth to do anything right now. I'm feeling Aston Villa. I think they're riding a nice little wave. You know, really, they should have won at Everton. They shouldn't even be in a relegation spot right now. They should have won at Everton.
You are correct. You're right.
A very, very late goal there drew that one even, but they really outplayed Everton and had that match won, it looked like. And then the big result over the weekend. Yeah, I think Aston Villa's going to escape. I think they've got a little bit of magic in them, and it's all in that foot of oil of Jackie Boy Grealish. So Aston Villa to escape. As for the Champions League, the champion. By every metric, Leicester has no freaking chance because half their team is dead, and the half that's playing kind of suck.
What a terrible time for rain.
But you know me, I go with my heart.
Oh, of course.
You know me, I go with my heart. I think Chelsea and Wolves are going to catch an old 2-2 draw.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think in the 92nd minute, Jamie Vardy's going to have a party, and De Gea's going to drop a ball into his own goal. Leicester 2, Manchester United 1. Leicester and Chelsea on to the champions. Manchester United playing Thursday night in Uzbekistan.
Wow. Uzbeks. Oh, man.
Uzbekistan.
That would be.
And then after the match, they can still receive their trophy for having the best season between the time they got Bruno Fernandes and the last 3 matches of the year. Because apparently that's a trophy for United. So it says
they gotta prop him up. Gotta prop up the Ed Woodward boys.
it's gonna be great because apparently there's a kill clause in there where if United miss the Champions League like 2 years in a row, they lose like 20 or 30% of their shirt sponsorship.
Ooh, a lot riding on Sunday. A lot. Oh my, that is crazy.
Not that kills United, but it's just nice.
Yeah. So I want to play a quick game, and then we can get back to matches. 4 teams in the Premier League currently are on their run of form in their previous 5 matches, undefeated. One of them is Manchester United, as you so delicately put a few minutes ago. Can you name the other 3?
Undefeated in their last 5, is that what you said?
Yes.
United, probably fucking Everton or something.
Nope, not Everton.
Everton?
Nope.
How about Sheffield?
No, Sheffield's lost their last 2.
Oh, well, never mind. Wes is paying real attention to the plays, isn't it? Nobody at the top because, damn, they're all killing each other. So that leaves like the likes of B&H.
Nope, not B&H.
Well, Jesus Christ, I really can't come up with 5 teams in who are doing anything like that.
It is so the 4 teams who are currently on a run of 4 of 5, at least 5 straight unbeaten, are United, Tottenham, Burnley, and Southampton.
Burnley.
Nick Pope's going to win the Golden Glove, it looks like, this year. My God.
Nick Pope needs to be England's freaking number 1.
I think Southgate might do that.
Who's going to be England's number 1? Quit sooner than later. I think he's going to be Dean Henderson.
Interesting. Okay.
Unfortunately, by the time he does that, he'll probably be back at United, but whatever. Great story, that Dean Henderson is.
Obviously, also, the big news today was Liverpool lifting the trophy after that classic match against Chelsea. That did end up 5-3. And I can definitely report that the players did sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," even though NBC cut away to a split screen commercial.
F you, NBC. You're the worst.
Oh no! Come on, we like them. They fucked up, but we like them.
As I sat in my work console today and watched Liverpool lift that trophy, all I could think was, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Klopp. Oh, and what a glorious, glorious thing it's been. Jurgen Klopp said within 5 years he thought they would win the championship. He said that in October of 2015. It is now July of 2020. But anyway, this would have happened in August of 2020. Like any good, efficient German. Das Mission complete.
Right under the wire.
As due to, well, once again, we would have held this for a good week or two anyway. Liverpool are your reigning England, European, and world champions.
for
at least another month.
Yeah, about 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks, until the Champions League kicks back up. That's gonna be interesting.
But hey, not a bad little haul to hold right there.
Yeah, that's true.
It had been 2012 since our last piece of silverware, and now we've gotten 4 of them in the last. I'm gonna count the Premier League in the last 12 months. So,
what was the 4th?
The Super Cup.
Okay.
Yeah, Hey, it's a trophy.
Is it a trophy or is it a plate?
It's silverware.
Okay.
Doesn't have one?
Who's that?
Everton.
That's true. Yeah, Everton doesn't. Everton doesn't have a lot of things.
What's that song I like to sing? You haven't won a trophy. You haven't won a trophy. You haven't won a trophy since 1995. Since 1995. Always nice to remind them.
Oh man, I'm sure they always need that reminder too.
Sure, that is just so excited for their friends and neighbors that excited. Billy got to win another top flight. Good job, assholes. That's your cousin, mate. I fucking
divides families. One side's red, one side's blue. Oh.
It almost divided the show once.
That is true. Yeah. But we didn't let it divide it.
No, we live by that old adage. You're either red or you're a blue.
Hmm? You're not that weird Norwich green.
That's weird. Yeah, Norwich.
Yeah, sorry, Timo. So that is again this Sunday, big Sunday in the Premier League, and again all those matches start at 11 a.m. and all those matches can definitely be seen on some subsidiary of an NBC network.
So many Peacock games.
Yeah, check your local list. I think all of them are on an actual channel though.
Well, so about half of them are on an actual channel, and the other half are on Peacock. But the ones that have anything riding on them are on regular TV.
Okay.
Like United and Leicester are on NBC. Chelsea and Wolves are on USA.
Yep.
And Villa and West Ham are on NBC Sports.
Yep. And Everton Bournemouth is on CNBC.
Right. And then are the rest of them on Peacock?
Yeah, the rest of them. And actually, Arsenal Watford isn't even on Peacock. It's just on NBC Gold.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Wow.
So, yeah. So
that's the old Arsenal effect, I guess.
Yeah, true. But again, yeah, all those are at 11 a.m. I'm surprised they're not doing. I know they're trying to push the Peacock thing, but I'm genuinely surprised they're not doing like they have done in previous years, where like everyone is on a channel.
It is free, at least.
Yeah. There's also Corona. Like, what the fuck does E have running right now at 11 a.m. on Sunday morning? Come on.
What, the E Network?
Yeah.
Ed, Sundays are for the Kardashians. Hello. Saturdays are for the boys. Sundays are for the dashes.
Really?
Speaking of the Kardashians, how about that Kanye West?
Just
think, all you have to do is have a kid. $1 million.
I have a lot of conflicting feelings about Kanye West.
That's the President West plan. Have a kid, $1 million. Here you go. Of course, by the time all those are passed out, $1 million will be worth like, you might be able to buy you like a Happy Meal or something. I have $1 million. That's great. Would you like the superstars? No, I can't afford that.
The magic of the FA Cup.
Mookie Betts' new contract will be able to get him like a Yugo and a one-room shack in like East LA or some shit.
That is an absolutely absurd contract. Good for you, Mookie, but holy shit, that's an absurd amount of money.
Hell yeah. I'm one of those people. Oh, hey, why do they make all that money? Because somebody will pay it to them.
Yeah. That's not a diss at Mookie. That in no way, shape, or form. If somebody's gonna pay you that much, get paid, son. Get paid.
I am king capitalism.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody will. Well, why is he worth more than a teacher? Because a teacher ain't going to hit 350, steal 40, and hit 40 out.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's like when you start making teacher merch. Start making. I want Massiana jerseys. That's what I want. I want Massiana jerseys being sold everywhere.
I want one
long as
name
they're both
producer
red.
Jackie. I want one name producer Jackie. Choir hoodie. Give me one of those. We'll make her a star.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually not a terrible idea.
One name producer Jackie merch up in this place.
I think I'm actually gonna send that to her. Anyway, FA
I've got uniforms coming up at the 911. Anybody wants to make me a 911 star? My idea of using my entire uniform allowance every year just to buy branded toboggans to go sell at the stockyard may come into effect this year. Just need to get cold. Pure profit, baby. $10 a pop there. I'm selling them for $7 out the back of my truck. Nash County 911.
Arsenal beats Manchester City 2-0. Somehow, some way, Aubameyang with the brace there, and then Chelsea will rip apart the best team since the Project Restart happened. They're so good and they're amazing.
Have y'all seen their
Manchester
point total? They're still in fifth. Well, they're in third now, but then they were still in fifth.
Yes. Olivier Giroud with what always signifies something has gone horribly wrong. The goal in the 45th plus 11th minute.
God,
That was, I'm now actually blanking. I know it was Eric Bailly, I believe, had a scary neck injury in that one that I know we just kind of made light of, but no, injury is not something to make light of. But that's kind of how you know when stoppage time gets up to like double-digit minutes, something has probably gone horribly wrong. Otherwise, Chelsea also got goals from Mason Mount as well as an own goal from Harry Maguire.
he's the most expensive defender in the world. Captain of the best team since the restart. Point-wise.
So we're getting a Chelsea versus Arsenal final that will be at August 1st at Wembley. And Wes, I mean, you were in a way pulling for Chelsea, so you can still stay that course. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because this denies Pep another trophy. And of course, it keeps United from winning a trophy this year. So, well, I mean, other than their participation trophy, they're going to get just from ESPN for having the most points since Bruno Fernandes came.
Everything's coming up, Wes.
Other than that trophy, yeah, I'm down. And now I'll be fine with Chelsea just to go beat Arsenal in the final now.
That would be pretty great. It would also make. I've always been wondering, like, does Tottenham actually want to qualify for Europa League? Like, I feel like we do.
I mean, it does give Josie something to do, and I think with Josie,
I think
if
he's won the Europa League, so.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I mean, if he can just have one up on his rival, I think that's what really matters to Josie. And Arsenal's his rival now, so
true.
If he can go to Europa and they don't, that's still something better than them. And you finish above them, so Josie playing score is always enjoyable.
I know we like to make fun of them a lot, but could you? I know this is also kind of a tangent. If Arsenal don't win that FA Cup, they will not be going to a European competition next year. Could you see a sort of exodus from the club of a lot of the players, such as like Aubameyang, Lacazette, that sort of grouping?
I think they are desperately trying to do that, whether they make Europa or don't make Europa.
Okay.
I mean, there are so many guys that they're looking to offload. Granite Xhaka,
Yeah.
Mesut Ozil, 2 at the absolute top of that list. The problem is that they ain't getting rid of Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil's going to sit right there until that last check clears, and I don't blame him one damn bit either. Nobody's going to pay what it would take to get him away from there. They want to do a serious overhaul at Arsenal. Now, the big thing is, will the funds be there, especially the Corona funds? Are they going to be there to be able to do it? That's the big question. But Arsenal desperately want to try to overhaul that squad. Other than David Luiz, of course, if they gave a new contract.
Yeah.
Because once again, speaking of Mesut Ozil, man, they're really good at giving guys contracts. Weird. Arsenal just know when to strike when it's hot.
It's mind-boggling what that's done. But speaking of mind-boggling decisions, Nigel Pearson has been fired. I alluded to this earlier. But Pearson has been fired after that 3-1 Watford defeat to West Ham on Friday, which means that there will be the people who came in, and I cannot find their names for the moment.
Ponzi.
Yeah, the 2 people who came in as caretakers earlier this season, when one of their other managers got fired, are going to be taking over for the Pozzo is the owner.
Yeah, that's the owner. That's what you're going for.
And technical director Filippo Giraldi had gotten to a bit of a row with Pearson. There was a lot of conflicted feelings about how it would go on. Hayden Mullins was the caretaker, and he and a familiar name to the Foreign Affair podcast, Craig Shakespeare, formerly of Leicester City fame.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Name any other Shakespeare play.
Henry VIII.
Good enough. They will be caretaker for another match here, as they were for 2 matches between Quique Sanchez-Flores and Nigel Pearson. It also makes them.
There was also Javi Garcia was there as well, wasn't he?
Yes, Javi Garcia was there. The first 4 matches.
So many managers.
This was like the Watford MO for as long as they've been in the Premier League, pretty much. But they took it to a whole nother level this season. And if Watford do end up going down, which if Wes has his way, they will, because Aston Villa will be staying up. How does this bode for Watford to try and get back up to the Champions League? Because, or not the Champions League, the Premier League. Because they've done it before. They've come out of the Championship. This is also not a new way of running the squad from Pozzo to switch managers willy-nilly. But does this start to make a manager look at Watford like, yeah, I like some of the players over there. Adama Traore's not there. But there are some pretty half-decent players there, especially for the Championship. But I don't know if I want to touch that ownership group with a 10-foot pole. This seems like something that could really eventually start to hinder growth for this club and prove negative results going forward.
One thing you got to look at with that club and the ownership group is that they own multiple clubs. They also own Udinese, who's in Serie A. And I want to say there's another club that they own as well. So they have this whole network of people that they keep sliding through. So, I don't think finding a manager or getting anyone would really be an issue for them. Part of it would be, what quality of a manager are you going to get?
Yeah.
And who wants to work kind of in those conditions where it is so tough? But one thing is, they don't mind spending some money. We're not talking. They're not chic money. They're not Russian oligarch money. But they'll put some funds in. They just had a rough season. They just had a really rough season. I do think that Watford, if they can just get their shit straight when they go down, that they could be one to bounce back. They could be a quick bounce back squad. But sooner or later, somebody's got to have some patience with someone.
Yeah.
And it's just it's tough. It's tough trying to do it. I mean, Nigel Pearson came in, got a good immediate run from him. It was just unfortunate. This is a team that couldn't score. I mean, that's been their biggest problem. They just can't score any freaking goals. And part of that's just because they're just not that good. They're not that well put together. And then Troy Deeney took the rest of the season off. Might come back to bite him in the ass. I was like, I could have helped us stay. I figured Troy Deeney's probably like, we'll be fine. We'll stay up. Damn it. Not the championship. What now? But, I mean, I could see them being a candidate to bounce back pretty quickly, depending on what players are able to keep going down to the championship. But, just that managerial, it's just been off the hook ridiculous this year. It's been just overboard even for Watford standards this year.
I didn't put this on the docket, but I did want to ask, since today was also the final day of regular season play for the championship, Leeds and West Brom confirmed the two teams coming directly up. Then there's still the 14 playoff. Any thoughts on Leeds with Marcelo Bielsa coming up along with West Brom?
Leeds are going to be fucking insane next year. Excuse me. Leeds United is a massive club that has just lost their way for like the last 15, 20 years. This is a club that should come back in, and if they can just keep themselves in for a couple years and reestablish in this league, you better watch out for Leeds United. They are absolutely a club that can force their way into that top half of the table, and potentially, if they can keep things rolling over, they're going to be a club that can force their way into European talks. They are a traditional, really, really good English club. Once again, this century, for whatever reason, originally it fell apart because they way overextended themselves money-wise, banking on making the Champions League every year in the early 2000s. And when they missed the Champions League, kind of the house of cards just fell down on top of them. But, I mean, you look back at those Leeds United teams from then, I mean, good God, Rio Ferdinand was on that squad. James Milner came through Leeds United. There's been talk that Milner may go back to end his career at Leeds if they got back to the Premier League. Personally, don't see that happening, but you never know. You never know. But you go back and look, I mean, those are some really, really good Leeds United teams. And I'm personally excited to see Leeds back. One reason, they hate Manchester United. I mean, just a ton of hatred between those two. So it's almost like Liverpool has like a brother back in their hatred of United. Always fun. And then you add in Marcelo Bielsa, who is, I mean, the guy's nickname is El Loco.
Yes.
If that tells you anything. The Athletic ran a really, really good comprehensive article on him in the last week, which I invite everyone to go check out. He is very interesting. He's a very good tactical manager. Managers, a bunch of the top managers in the world have borrowed and learned things from Bielsa over the years that they've implemented in their squads. I mean, I'm talking guys like Mourinho and Guardiola and top managers. I have looked up to Marcelo Bielsa, and it would be absolutely fantastic. It will be absolutely fantastic to see him in the Premier League next year. Now, for Leeds, they've done it with a squad that they've kept together for the better part of Bielsa's time there. It's going to be something to keep an eye on when they go up. How many, what kind of moves they're willing to make. Because A, this is going to be a depressed market, it seems like. B, God, how fast are we going to turn around and start the Premier League? And there's a lot going against teams that are coming up this year. But I think if Leeds United can just get through this season and we get back to some sense of normalcy, Leeds United in the next 5 years could be making their run up the ladder in the Premier League, which I'm really excited about. As far as West Brom, West Brom or West Brom, they're fine. They finished second. They clinched it. I'm not going to lie and tell you I kept up with West Brom hardly at all this year. I knew where they were in the table, but that's about it. But once again, a lot of pedigree there. They're one of the original teams of the English top flight, which I didn't realize. They're one of the 10 original teams of the top flight. So, always good to have West Brom back. The playoffs going to be crazy. I have a closeted interest in Nottingham Forest. That's actually who I'm running right now on my FIFA career mode is Nottingham Forest. They went into today in 6th place.
Yeah.
Just basically needing a draw against Stoke, who was like 17th. All they needed was like a draw to get into the playoff, and they lost 4-1. Got absolutely hammered by a Stoke team who had nothing to play for. They had everything to play for. So with that, Nottingham Forest finished 7th. So
here's the thing.
Go ahead. Oh, I was going to say my dream of Nottingham Forest Leeds both back in the league this year, not going to come to fruition.
It wasn't even that they needed a draw. They actually finished level on points with Swansea at 70, but their goal differential was 1 worse. So Swansea won 4-1 over I think Reading, and Nottingham Forest lost 4-1. So that's the kind, and both games had goals in the 90th minute. Swansea scored after 90, and Nottingham Forest gave up an own goal after 90. And I was actually just watching the highlights again. Nottingham Forest, their goal was they had the ball in Stoke's half, were knocking it around, and then Stoke had a breakaway, and the Nottingham Forest player who got back turned it into his own net. So that's how Nottingham Forest isn't going to the playoff.
Seriously. And once again, even with they were sitting on 70, Swansea were sitting at 67. Just go get a result, do something. Don't lose 4-1 to Stoke.
Yeah, even 2-1 would have been okay. 2-1 loss gets you in the championship playoff.
Looking down that table, Wigan received a 12-point deduction, and ended up going down because of it. And when you look at just their 1-loss record this year, you're like, oh, they should be fine. They should be safe. No, they're going down because of a 12-point deduction that they got. So, you think this is Wigan who beat Manchester City in the FA Cup final not all that long ago.
Yeah, right below them is Hull, who was in the Premier League.
And they're down to join. Let's see who's coming out of League One. All right, let me see where. I was basically about to make a Sunderland joke, but I need to see exactly.
We got Coventry and Rotherham are coming out automatically. Oxford, Pompey, Fleetwood, and Peterborough are in the playoffs. Sunderland finishing tied on with points on Peterborough, but a much worse goal differential.
So going down with Sunderland. I wonder how many matches. Oh wait, no, they already called League One this year, didn't they? That's right. Yeah, they did. When we started League One, so now of teams that were just in the Premier League just a few years ago, Sunderland and Wigan, and also Blackpool,
and Hull.
Yeah, and Hull's going down. Damn right. Good God, I tell you, man, you can't play when you go down the Premier League. You better figure your damn way back up because these guys are showing that free falls do happen.
Unfortunate news this year, for whatever reason, I guess. The Ballon d'Or said if France is not playing any more soccer, then we are not going to have our award show. I don't know what that accent is. But unfortunately, I have these rare jewels. This is according to an ESPN.com article. The Ballon d'Or has been canceled for the first time in the awards history due to the impact of the coronavirus. There, I mean,
the fact that they couldn't justify giving it to Messi or Ronaldo this year.
No, that's
because they would have had to give it to Robert Lewandowski. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Oh
That's my
no.
case.
Can't have that.
Cannot give this.
So instead of awarding the usual 4 individual trophies, the organization will announce a dream team at the end of the year. 11 players will feature and will be chosen by the usual Ballon d'Or jury. So good job, Ballon d'Or. Good job on you.
Chubby jerk.
So they've also announced FIFA has a little bit of the World Cup schedule for 2022, and Wes, get excited, baby, because
Slated for Nick Pope's England.
time zones are gonna be a bitch. So matches can be played at on I think these are local times. So local time of 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I think 7 o'clock and 11 o'clock p.m. Sure. Those times align with, for us, 5 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and then 2 p.m. So
Also, it's just like watching the Premier League, basically.
yeah, it's gonna be early. Some of these kickoffs are gonna be quite early.
Right now, some down the West Coast is rolling his eyes going, East Coast pussies.
Yeah, kind of. The West Coast is gonna get it real bad. Their start times are 2 a.m., 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., and 11 a.m. for all matches. And of course, the other interesting thing is, because hey, Fox Sports is doing it, there will be 4 Sundays or 3 Sundays in that during the World Cup that have matches, and you might be thinking, what's so bad about that? Well, because the World Cup is in the winter this year, football is on Fox in the winter in late fall. So it's going to be real interesting to see how Fox schedules that, since they have a game on Sundays. So
that's what they're writing on that. NFL will be going on it.
there you go. Fingers crossed.
That's what we say. Fingers crossed for the West. Love you guys.
And lastly, I never message this to you, but I'm going to just message this to you because this I hope this will bring a bit of a smile to your face. The context of this is this is on a Reddit post on Coys, which is the Tottenham Hotspur subreddit. And the title of this video is Jose Mourinho calling Colo Torre fat to Brendan Rodgers. It is such a fun little video. It's just 18 seconds long. It's just adorable. Adorable. Also, Brendan Rodgers is very short. Like, I knew he was short, but like seeing him next to Mourinho, who I also know is kind of short, Brendan is really short.
That was great. Oh God, yeah, Brendan Rodgers he's a tiny little man.
He's a tiny little man.
Tiny man, big ego.
Yeah, envelopes. So there you go. That's our news and notes. Wes, anything from the Athletic you want to pimp?
Jesus God, there's so much on the Athletic. I'm like so backed up just in save stories right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely insane. God, what have I read? There's a lot of good Liverpool coverage, of course, this time of year. I'm looking forward to tomorrow to see what James Pierce said about the trophy lift, the Hendo shuffle that we got to see. The college football is just crazy right now. Really good story talking about Alabama signing the Brockmeyer twins out of Austin, Texas. They go and get the two top they get the top offensive lineman and like his twin brother, who's like the 5th rated offensive lineman in Texas. They walk in. Their parents went to the University of Texas. Their brother played at the University of Texas. They live in Austin, going to Alabama.
Wow.
Texas could not keep them home. So, good times. Hook 'em
Alabama's
horns.
pretty good.
Really good story on them. I mean, there's just so much right now. There's so many questions up in the air about college football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they do such a good job on the authors I read. They do such a good job. They answer questions. They try to give people scenarios, things that will happen. Just so much going on there. From the football, I read an interesting article reviewing the career of Henrik Larsson, who was pre-Zlatan, the greatest Swedish player of all time. Actually played his prime years at Celtic.
Oh.
And then went to Barcelona on a free and basically came off the bench and fired in the 2 assists that won the 2006 Champions League and kept it away from RC Wenger. So thank you, Henrik Larsson. And thank you at that time, Barcelona, who wasn't the evil monolith that they are now, for keeping the Champions League away from Arsene Wenger and Arsenal Football Club. So good job.
Good on you.
Just a lot of good stuff in there. Shit. Like I said, I've got so many stories just saved in there. I mean, I'm never going to get through them. I don't think. I haven't been able to touch my baseball series recently because I can't get through all my other articles during the day. So check out The Athletic. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna really quickly pump 2 articles here. One just came out a couple hours ago. This is by Kalen McGrath. Still home hunting. Where do the Blue Jays go next? The Toronto Blue Jays won't be able to actually play baseball in Toronto due to health concerns with COVID-19. They tried to go to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh said, "Nah, you don't get to play here." So they have I think less than 48 hours to figure out where they're going to be playing home games this year. That's fun. So that's a good article there.
I think did they say one option is down in Florida somewhere?
Probably.
And I saw one was maybe Buffalo, their AAA affiliate.
Could be, yeah. Since possibly worst case Buffalo. So that is apparently their worst case scenario, according to outfielder Randall Grichuk.
That is pretty damn bad.
Buffalo. Also, this one by Felipe Cardenas. Frank de Boer's time at Atlanta United is falling into a direly familiar trend. Hooray. We love you, Frankie. So go check that out. And I do want to announce real quick, I did something sacrilegious 2 days ago. I canceled my subscription to The Athletic.
For angry.
Well, because T-Mobile gave me a free year of The Athletic. But the problem is I had to be on a new account. So I used my other email address and signed up for a new one and then canceled my other subscription. So I am now getting a year free of The Athletic thanks to T-Mobile. I'm also getting...
I'll be taking care of Athletic if you just give us some subscriptions.
It's true. Also getting... it's not as good as usual years, but for the past, I think it's 5 years, I've been getting... free MLB.TV access, so that's still, even this year in the pandemic, that is continuing. So that was really good to see. So thank you, T-Mobile. I'd love to have you on as a sponsor of this podcast. But for right now, I'll just take the free stuff from there. So yeah, so don't worry, Athletic. I'm not canceling you because I don't love your content. I love it very much, but I had to because now I'm using this other account to take advantage of this free year. So yay.
Are you still going to be commenting as Edward G?
I actually don't know. What is my name on this one? Yeah, it says my name's Edward Green under my account, so I assume I will be Edward G. So
because we do come across each other every now and then on the and we back up each other's arguments.
Yes.
We'll back up on other people. between the two. But yeah,
It's literally the only reason I go when I'm reading Liverpool content. It's the only reason I even go into the comments. I'm like, I wonder if Wes has replied to anybody being an idiot that I can back him up on.
Wes talking shit to anyone on here yet. Feel good.
There's not a lot of West B's commenting on Liverpool articles, so
Especially with an American lilt.
America, fuck yeah!
I can tell he's American. He's won back-to-back world wars.
So yeah,
he likes
big ups
John
to the big ups to the Athletic and Football. Real quick, Wes. Let's hit the watch for. What you watching in the week that was and the week that will be?
I finished it.
Oh, we can have a chat about it if you want to.
I just have something to admit, Ed.
Yeah.
I'm gay. I'm really gay.
Oh.
Spoiler alert, folks. Scene. I'm not really gay. Apparently, Senor Chang was the whole time.
Who knew?
Who knew? He was married to start with.
And then he was married to a mannequin leg.
Oh, I don't know if they were ever married or if that was just a steamy love affair.
There you go.
And he was married to. I think he had some interest in the Annie's boobs.
Yes. Monkey.
And by that we mean a monkey named Annie's boobs.
Named after Annie's boobs.
Yes. What a finale.
How about that last joke though at the end of that and that like stinger at the end?
There is no God.
You stupid child.
Stupid child, there is no God. There is no us. We're not a family.
We were never born and we will never die.
Yes, my father Pete, who you may have heard at the beginning of this show if Ed didn't mercifully cut it out, who doesn't like any comedy made after Sanford and Son, did sit through it and call it stupid the entire time, which means it's really good.
Even Dan Harmon, who does the last little bit there at the end, the fast talk reading at the end, calling it up his own ass was very accurate.
I did enjoy the little back and forth at the end, where they were talking about how lame the Marvel movies were.
Yes. You can't have opinions like that.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. I mean, I will say it won't go down as the greatest finale of all time.
No.
But it was a good community type finale. Yeah. And I'll give it that. I did enjoy Jeff's world with hot redheads at the table everywhere.
Yes.
It's definitely a world that I could get down with.
We can flash back to it in like at home, right?
Totally. Jeff. They, Dean Pelton got kind of tamped down a little in the last season.
Yeah.
As obviously the Jack, I haven't worn any of my outfits. So seeing him in a diaper through most of the final episode was refreshing.
I will also say, I know we're talking about the finale episode, but the final paintball episode they do, Modern Espionage. I hope you appreciated their nod to one of your favorite Marvel movies that they did in that episode.
Remind me, I'm blanking.
When they have the elevator scene.
Oh, yeah, from the good old Civil War. Or no, from Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Yep.
Yes.
Like, I remember watching that the first time live, and I was like, the first guy walks in the elevator, I'm like, are we just doing a Winter Soldier bit? Oh, we're doing a Winter Soldier bit. This is awesome.
Yeah, they did work in the Marvel bits in the last season. That little nod and wink to the super fans.
The Russos.
So, yeah. Just God, that's a great show, man. I mean, there was definitely like everything. There were definitely peak seasons.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I would say two to four, 2, 3, and 4 were kind of the peak seasons for me. And not so much 4 because 4 kind of had that weird vibe, but as a standalone, it wasn't bad, you know?
No, it's still not bad, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it hits the peak that 2 and 3 do.
Right. So yeah, let's just say 2 and 3. 2 and 3 were peak Community.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that show it never went sour. It never went bad.
No.
And I loved them just constantly. What are we gonna do for season 7? Season 7. So yes, I was very impressed, and now I have to find a new one. I've started actually watching Seinfeld just because I never watched Seinfeld all the way through. I've always just caught Seinfeld episodes here and there. I feel I've seen most of them. I don't think I'd ever watched hardly any of the first season, though. It was okay. Seinfeld was really one of those that it took it a few years to really get going.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's just because they realized, we need to be a little over the top here. We have some of these characters. We need to really kick them up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
And once they did, Seinfeld kicks in. So I've been watching some Seinfelds, and I'm enjoying those.
Nice.
I've still got to finish up my Better Call Saul. Netflix only has through season 4. They just finished season 5, and season 6 is going to be the last one. So I've still got some to go on that, but I think I'm going to have to go on hiatus because I got to wait for season 5 to come out on Netflix, and that might not happen for a little while. So. Anyhow, babe. So I'll finish that up, and I watch Scrubs from time to time on Hulu.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Just don't like new television. I like my TV like I like my movies from back in the day when I thought life was better. Like I like my movies and my music with none of these youngsters in it. Get off my lawn.
So I mentioned this last week. I did end up watching, because Peacock finally started working. I watched the second Psych movie that came out last week. Very good. Like, really, really good. And it's not the funniest 2-hour or 2-episode runtime, I guess is what it would be, because it's about 80 minutes. It's about the length of 2 episodes. It's not the funniest 2 episodes of Psych I've ever seen in my life, but if you're a longtime fan and you know about what happened to Timothy Amundsen prior to shooting the first one, the character who played Detective Carlton Lassiter actually had a stroke, which very nearly killed him, and so he wasn't really able to be in the first movie outside of like one little video call. So the second one is about him and his comeback, and it's actually very emotional. So there's still a lot of laughs to be had, but it's a little more emotional and deep than Psych tends to be. So yeah, go give it a watch. It's free on Peacock. So you can go take a look at that. But again, obviously spoilers if you haven't seen the other 8 seasons of Psych and the first movie. So do go check that out. It's a lot of fun though.
Maybe watch the other part before you just jump into the second movie.
Yeah, definitely watch movie 1.
Hey,
speaking of John Cena, he's in movie 1. And maybe he'll be in the next movie because he was actually in the actual show as one of the main characters' brothers. So,
John Cena!
Good old Ewan O'Hara. I've never met someone who couldn't be hidden by a plane. So yeah, I think that will about to do it though for this episode of the Foreign Affair podcast.
Real quick, Ed. Real quick.
Hmm?
Dun, 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 dun. Breaking news. I have a little wrestling news this week.
What? Okay.
All right, 2 stories. Well, one that we've been following intently. Rey Mysterio lost his eye.
Oh God! Oh no!
I don't know how. It popped up and said Rey Mysterio lost his eye. Apparently on the edge.
Sure.
Who would have thunk it?
Sure.
But some actual wrestling news. So, of course, as Ed knows all too well, one of my favorite tag teams of all time are the Good Brothers, Machine Gun Carl Anderson and the Good Doc, Luke Gallows. They had a very entertaining podcast that I used to force Ed to listen to called Talk that he absolutely thoroughly hated, but humored me by letting me listen to about 5 minutes of it once.
Of course.
So during the great what do we call it? Downsizing of WWE when Corona started, Gallows and Anderson were actually released from WWE. So they had a 90-day non-compete that they had to serve, and the self-promoters, they restarted the Talking Shop podcast. Much higher production quality now. Not nearly as drunk as they used to be when they did it. But they had something going called Countdown to Fucktown.
Okay.
Of course they did. It was basically a countdown to the midnight that they were free and clear of their contracts and could then make a public statement about where they were going next.
Nice.
So Countdown to Fucktown, and they ended up signing with Impact Wrestling. So they're going to be on Impact now. They also said that on their Patreon page, they do a lot. They have a Patreon page that they do a lot on. They will be having a match. If you remember our brief flirtation with Southpaw Pro Wrestling, the little sketch comedy that WWE did a few years ago where they, air quote, unearthed a 1980s wrestling territory. And it was basically the current guys. John Cena was actually the play-by-play announcer for it. Now, Ed, I'm going to tell you should check that out. They're only like 5-6 minutes apiece. They're very short, and basically they're just like completely making fun of like 80s territory wrestling. But Carl Anderson played a character called Chad Too Bad. And
nice.
Luke Gallows played one you may remember, the old Sex Ferguson.
Yes.
Well, he played Tex Ferguson because, you can't be quite that bad on WWF or WWE. But they had a long-standing rivalry, apparently, between them. And on Patreon, we will be getting, for the first time ever, 30 years in the making, Chad Too Bad versus Tex Ferguson. But he's now once again known as Sex Ferguson because we don't have to play nice for the censors anymore.
Oh, no.
Because, it's called Countdown to Fucktown, so, not worrying about the censors.
It's some absolute fuck fighting going on.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep everybody up to date. That's going to be my only wrestling update is going to be when we get Chad Too Bad versus Sex Ferguson.
Amazing.
Because that is going to be him. So, welcome back, Gallows and Anderson.
Oh, man. So, on that note, that will finish up this edition of the Afford Affair podcast. One more shout to NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We never stop. You can follow them on the social as well as us on Twitter as a collective. We are at AFA Pod. Wes, you are?
I'm at Wes Bradshaw 21.
And I am at Edward Green. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube via our parent show, The All New Sports Show. And you can email us at allnewsportshow@gmail.com. Thanks to our podcast providers, including Podbean, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn Radio app, Google Play Music, and the Apple Podcast Store. So with that, we are going to finish off the episode of the podcast. But before we finally bolt, Wes, anything else you want to mention?
We talked a little bit about football earlier. Some unfortunate news has canceled high school football for the fall. Doesn't mean they might not play a spring season. Apparently the state of Virginia has gone ahead and, apparently the state of Virginia has become like the biggest gun jumper of anyone on earth. They have completely canceled high school sports for the entirety of the academic year.
Wow.
Not even going to see what happens. No, we're done. No, nothing. So Virginia's kind of gone off their shit over the last few years on a lot of things, it seems like. So. Anyway, so as far as I know around here, things have been pushed back time-wise to September.
Mhm.
We might get a season, we might not. Oh, but just to throw it in there, of course, we know West being Mr. Rocky Mount here. Rocky Mount, of course, has a defensive end, a national top 100 rated defensive end named Keyshawn Silver, who has committed to play football at the University of North Carolina. So here I am, man, a top 100 player for the first time at Rocky Mount since 2002. And I'm not going to get a football season, right? We'll just go ahead and say that. Oh, guess what else he announced this week? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and play basketball while I'm at Carolina, too.
Well, then.
So now I'm not only missing a top 100 football player on my gridiron, I'm missing the first guy to go play basketball at Carolina from Rocky Mount since Phil Ford.
Mhm.
So screw you, Corona. And as I put on a Facebook post, this is obviously a Northern Nash conspiracy, the entire coronavirus. Just to screw me up this season. Damn, Randy like
My God. I do want to make a quick note here and if there's been something updated since this post, that's totally fine. What I'm seeing actually for Virginia is that they have just canceled everything they've canceled all fall sports. They are meeting next week to potentially still keep an actual 3 condensed season thing. So there could actually still be sports. It looks like so the winter sports would be mid-December to February, fall sports would be mid-February to the beginning of May, and spring sports would kind of overlap to be mid-April to the end of June. So very interesting schedule, but that is a potential schedule that Virginia high schools could be using for their sports. So
that was off of something I actually read off the Athletic. So maybe it was misinterpreted by them. So
it also could be that is more updated because again, this was the 15th, which is about a week old now. So this could be. Yeah. So let me. I can actually look on the Athletic, but for now, we will bid adieu to you, good folks, of the followers of the Foreign Affair podcast. So, for my Colin Crime, Wes Bradshaw, I'm Edward Green. Thanks so much for joining us here, and until next time, stay safe, wash your hands, and get a good sleep on Saturday night because Sunday's gonna be a brawl.
Sunday. And good night to my brethren over in Liverpool. You might have to go to bed, but the party ain't stopping no time soon.
Yeah, depending on when they are listening to this, they might still be awake, even if it's
Absolutely.
probably 5 o'clock over there.
Doesn't matter. We're still partying.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We're all doing the Hendo show.
Oh, man.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on NGSCsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.